Sa pagsasaliksik ninyo, ano ba yung platform of choice nitong mga DDS when it comes to, gamitin na natin yung spreading disinformation? Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or sabay-sabay yan? And do they make a distinction or do they fashion each content depending on the platform? Kasi that would indicate how sophisticated their campaign is.
For me, it's a mix kasi based sa monitoring ko and ng monitoring ng check.ph, which Philstar is a member of, talagang cross-platform siya. Hindi lang siya yung texts na kina-copy-paste like what we reported on. There's also the quote cards, as we can see, sa mga celebrities na kunwari daw nagpapakita ng support kay Duterte. It's also the videos. It's even in the comment sections of prominent critics of the Duterte administration. Dito mas kita yung pagiging troll-like nila kasi makikita mo yung username sunod-sunod, parang pare-pareho yung naming conventions na code words lang, ganyan, numbers. So, talagang iba-iba siya. Hindi lang siya posts, comments din siya. So, yun. I haven't really checked that much sa YouTube, pero ang sure ako na marami talaga is sa Facebook and sa TikTok, which checks out sa social media consumption habits ng Filipinos na mas dun sa dalawa talaga.
Oh, di ba? Facebook, karamihan ng mga Pilipino on social media, Facebook, followed by TikTok na ba? And then YouTube, di ba? Ang YouTube nasa 57 million yata eh. Ang TikTok nasa 163M, tapos ang Facebook mga 91, 92, if I'm not mistaken. Ganun kalaki. Oo. Kanina, Regine, binanggit mo yung ano, no? Yung content, yung mga fan cams involving Kitty. Pag-usapan natin to, no? Chi, I'd also like you to weigh in on this. Yung the fact na during those moments, those hours, when there were little information coming from official sources, naging basis sa marami sa ating mga news organizations, yung mga post ni Kitty. Diba?
Yes.
What did you think of that?
That was a mistake, honestly. I don't know but I don't know how, naiintindihan ko naman in the sense na developing story. So, yung impulse din sa atin is to kind of just follow but I'm very wary ako sa mga posts that would I mean, hindi naman lahat ng media gumawa nito. Yung iba naman ay nag-frame naman ng maayos, pero may mga media pa rin na talagang
Karamihan lang.
word for word nilang ikokopya yung quotes ni Kitty Duterte na kidnapping, ganyan-ganyan, hindi sila
sandwich.
Diba? Parang word sandwich. Sobrang, disappointing. Especially Ian, kasi nakikita naman natin na nagsa-self-contradicts siya sa narrative niya in the sense na, di ba may claim sila early on na hindi daw silang sinabihan kung ano yung charges, hindi daw silang sinabihan where he's being taken. Pero nag-post naman din pala siya ng video of General De La Torre reading the Miranda rights and reading the case. So, parang bakit pa natin i-amplify yung lie that he was not read his charges, he was not read his case, he was not served his warrant, when actually he was, and the proof of that is there, no? So, I think we should be very careful kasi, and eto talaga, kung sa mga colleagues natin sa media, magbasa kayo ng Oxygen of Amplification. Very helpful reading siya sa pag-frame ng mga ganito. Kasi even if kinokorrect mo yung lie, you have to frame it in a way na hindi parang nare-rebut siya agad. So, kung iuuna mo yung lie, mas ina-amplify mo siya eh. Ganon. So, dapat makorrect siya doon pa lang sa copy mismo, sa lead, sa headline, tsaka sa visual, sa thumbnail.
Siguro yung POV ko kasi as someone din na beat reporter. So talagang nung day na yon, hindi lang din ako nagtatrack nung disinfo flood na yon. Like I was also reporting on what was happening from the arrest to nung paalis na siya ng Pilipinas. And totoo yung sinabi ni Regine na grabe talaga yung information vacuum during this time, na a lot of media orgs really tried to find the best possible information source about the arrest, yung blow by blow. And it just so happens na, yun nga, si Kitty was IG storying everything. And then, of course, when other media orgs started to report on it, sunod-sunod na siya. I can only speak for Philstar, na after nung day of the arrest itself, from that nag-calibrate kaming reporters na hindi natin gagamitin yung word na kidnapping. Kasi napag-agrihan namin na yung word, they're trying to make the word a thing with
Yeah.
regards to the ICC arrest. So any kind of mention of kidnapping, even as a refutal or something, gagawa namin ng paraan na hindi yun yung nakaangat sa headline tsaka sa lead, which is yung sinabi nga ni Ate Regine. So,
Yeah.
I can speak about that. Pero yung amplifying kitty quote cards and all, no comment. Di ko rin sure kung bakit nangyayari pa rin siya.
Ako na lang magsasabi.
Suggestion ko, parang
Go.
kung kailangan yung gumamit ng quote cards, which understand ko naman na parang yun yung, it's a fast way of disseminating information, hintayin nyo muna yung rebuttal bagong i-headline or i-quote card yung lie. Tapos ilapat nyo together. Which some already do. Which some news outlets already do naman. Pero yun yung best way na may rebuttal mismo dun sa mismong visual.
Hindi yung after pa. Kasi nga, nakakalimutan na eh. Minsan, nare-revive mo pa yung disinformation pag kinorek mo 3 days later Kung nakalimutan na.
Exactly. Oo.
Actually nga, hindi ako naman, I can understand the situation of many of our colleagues because that was a breaking story. Pero yun nga, kulang sa preparedness kasi hindi naman ito unexpected. No? Meron naman talagang nakasampa sa ICC at alam mo, sooner or later, aresto yan. And nandun lagi yung challenge to produce information when official sources are not talking. Tapos nandun of course yung unahan, di ba? Tsaka tingin ko trap pa rin yung karamihan sa atin doon sa tinatawag na he said, she said. No? Sinabi ni Kitty ganito, hindi sumasagot yung isa di mag-stay sa sa conversation yung sinabi ni Kitty. Hindi ko alam kung nag-iisip na iba mga news organizations na magtayo ng Kitty Duterte beat. Yung talaga nakabuntot ng kay Kitty. Para isagad nyo na, i-cover nyo na lagi, pero kidding aside, kasi, dapat binavalidate, di ba? Yun ay sinabi niya, sandwich na yung pinakain. Huwag mo na ilalabas yun. Pwede, di ba? Anyway, stop na muna ako dyan. Okay. What should we do? What can be done? Okay? Kasi alam natin, very sophisticated itong infrastructure that we are dealing with. Okay? Pero from the perspective of news organizations muna, what can be done? Chi.
Actually, kapag ganito yung questions, medyo wala talaga akong masabi. Kasi in my mind, ang top of mind ko lang is what should not be done kapag dating sa regulating this information, lalo na with the current House hearings about the spread of disinformation. And I can see or read some lawmakers who are suggesting, not just lawmakers, but people in general, suggesting na to outlaw the dissemination or creation
Kalokohan
of
yan.
fake news.
Kalokohan yan.
Yun. Doon ako medyo...
Hindi, as news organizations, di ba? There must be something that we can do. Kasi pag wala tayong ginawa dito, baka ma-convince yung mga policy makers na, hindi, sige, pagbawal na lang yung fake news na yan. And sooner or later, gagamitin din yan doon sa mga legitimate comments. Di ba? Pwede ngayon, ang target, rightly so, yung mga nagpapakalat ng fake information ng mga DDS. Paano pag iba ihip ng hangin? Di ba? You and I, and anyone else can be victimized by this. Di ba? Yun nga, from the perspective of newsrooms lang muna. Anong pwedeng gawin?
Siguro, sir, ang masasabi ko, mas yung critical reporting like what Regine said, not just repeating what sources na mahilig mag-spread ng non-factual things, i-report mo as facts. Hindi talaga siya uubra ngayon kasi as we know, even facts right now are being used to pollute the public discourse through the influence operations. So what more kung i-amplify pa natin yung hindi totoo? So mas nandun po talaga ako.
Ako, Christian, I think sa newsrooms, kailangan nilang i-empower tsaka maglaan talaga ng reporter na gumagawa ng data reporting tsaka analysis on disinformation or influence operations. Katulad ng ginagawa ni Chi. So some newsrooms already do that. May ganun din sa Rappler, may ganun din sa Press One. Pero dapat talaga may in-house yung mga newsroom na tao na makakaspot talaga ng spin while it's happening. And that person can help to frame the newsroom's coverage of an event. Kailangan natin ng mas data-driven na reporting about malign influence, tulad ng lumabas na report from Philstar about the 200 accounts, ganon. Kasi kailangan malaman ng public that yung mga messaging na ganito, coordinated siya eh. So we really should not believe everything that we see online. And that also allows newsrooms to shift from a more offense stance kaysa sa
Yes.
defense. Kasi pag nagpa-fact check lang tayo post, 'di ba? Puro defense siya. Like when somebody lies and then we report it and then somebody rebuts the lie, i-report ulit. Parang defensive yung Parang dapat while the lie is happening, parang nakikita natin yung coordinated activity that surrounds it. And that allows us to have a more... So basically, mag-invest tayo sa investigative journalism is what I'm saying, no? Yun yung other thing na I think kailangan din ma-realize ng mga lawmakers natin when parang medyo stuck pa sila sa level ng fake news, no? Parang napaka-arbitrary naman nun kasi any administration or government administration of the day can say fake news yung mga news na ayaw nilang pakinggan. Dapat mag-graduate sila to an understanding of foreign interference.
Yeah.
'Di ba? Na itong mga narratives na ito, nanggagaling ba talaga to sa mga Pinoy? And to what extent are the Filipinos who are parroting these narratives, to what extent are they complicit, no? Kasi nakikita naman natin sa data, sa research ng newsrooms like Philstar, like research think tanks, no? There's already data that shows na may positive correlation ang pro-Duterte vloggers tsaka ang pro-China propaganda. And whether or not these people are actually like foreign agents, ganon, parang hindi mo mapaprove yan exactly, pero makikita mo kasi sa data kung sino yung mga suspicious accounts na nagko-converge around the posts and the narratives that are being thrown around by these social media influencers. Katulad before, may report din dati si Chi na yung narrative na magsasid daw yung Mindanao, inamplify yan ng China. Tapos may report din from Press One na yung deepfake na president doing drugs, 'di ba? Nakinalat ng mga vloggers, amplified din yun by accounts.
Ito ba yung cocaine? Yung cocaine?
Yeah.
Isa sa mga nagpakalat na yun, alam niyo kung sino? Si Harry Roque.
Exactly. Exactly, Ian, 'di ba? So parang we can't, siguro ngayon, it's hard to prove a paper trail or a money trail na these people are foreign agents. Pero makikita mo sa interactions ng mga posts nila na maraming bakit may mga Chinese accounts na nagpapakalat nito, gano'n. 'Di ba? So parang doon pa lang, sa result pa lang, dapat suspicious na yung mga kababayan natin, kung sino ba talaga yung nagbe-benefit sa mga kasinungalingan na ito, 'di ba? So yon, parang those are things na siguro masasuggest ko both sa colleagues natin tsaka sa mga news consumers natin.